Hey guys, I'm Aleks Weyman and I am a technical outreach specialist at Valcure. So technical outreach specialist, it's kind of like a self-created title. I feel like in tech there's a lot of opportunity to kind of do your own thing. And what I do on a day-to-day basis essentially is create all the outreach campaigns for sales, for marketing, for a technical company, which includes a lot of technical documentation, technical tutorials, guides, things like that to kind of help not only sell the product, but also to educate users about the product. Well, I graduated from the University of Washington with a degree in technology management. And then from there, I spent about 10 years in corporate tech. I was first at Apple, everything from sales to mobile technician, I think is the role they call it now, but basically fixing iPhones all day and laptops. And then after that, I went to AWS, Amazon Web Services, and joined the cloud infrastructure space. Was there for a number of years doing a combination of technical work, some account management work, and then even some social media work for blogs and educational material about the cloud. Leaving Amazon was definitely like the start of a really big change in my life. Mostly because, when you work for a big company like that, a lot of things are sort of provided for you. Like you get the health insurance, you get the stock options, you get, the consistent paycheck, which I was just so used to it, I didn't realize fully what it meant to not have a consistent paycheck until I made the leap into sort of the startup space and the music space and things like that. It was rough at first, but it taught me a lot more about what I had to do for myself as an individual to live life, grow up, and to make a living, if that makes sense. Then after that, I shifted to the sort of startup space where I currently am with my role at Valcure, which is a cybersecurity threat detection company that specializes in visualization networks. So you can visualize your entire cloud infrastructure network through virtual reality or through a web interface. It's much more interactive and a more fun way to analyze networks. So the virtual reality component of it is pretty cool and interesting. Essentially, you put on goggles, and right now we're available for Quest and the Vive. We're working on Oculus and a few others. But essentially, you put on the goggles and then you can visualize your entire infrastructure, all the nodes, the computers, the endpoints, any kind of DNS configurations you have. You can see them in this 3D space where they're all around you. And with the headset and the console, you can fly around them like you're flying a spaceship. And you can fly up to a node and zoom in on it and click on it, and it'll tell you all the details about it, like what's coming in, what's going out of it, any risk to the network, any kind of package loss, things like that, all within this 3D space that you're in. So what my day looks like today with Valcure specifically, a lot of meetings, as you can imagine. It's nice because they're remote. It's a remote job, so I'm able to kind of log into our Zoom calls wherever I am, which is really great. But a lot of the mornings are spent in meetings, just talking with clients, potential clients, with leads, talking with our management team. We have a whole separate team of developers that we have calls with just to kind of keep on track with what they're doing. The team that I sort of oversee specifically, again, is involved in content curation for the technical platform. So we create all kinds of guides, tutorials, or we schedule and do consultation calls with clients where we show them the network and educate them on how things work, what they can do with it for their needs. It's a lot of, it really is a lot of hand-holding. The thing is about this tool and VR in general is there is still kind of that learning barrier, And it's also can be expensive for some people to get headsets. So a lot of what we do is sort of educate them why they should be using this platform. But that's the startup game, is, trying to find more customers at all times. The tool that we build actually integrates with a lot of open source tools. The nice thing about these open source tools is that because they are open source, we can always add new ones. We can always change the way they work with each other. So we really do create models that fit customer needs specifically. So if a customer wanted something to work a certain way, we could help them achieve that. I think one of the best parts about my job and what I do now is the freedom of it. Again, coming from the corporate background where I had to work, the 4 10-hour shifts a week or whatever, I was very bound to a schedule. But now I have basically the entire day available to me, and I can sort of schedule the meetings however I want. And that gives me time to do a lot of other things. Like, for example, I have to go to the gym, or I have to have some sort of like physical meditation type activity in the morning just to get my day started. And I couldn't do that before, but now, being where I am with tech, I can, which is great. And it also gives me opportunity to do other things, like I work in music full time, so I do travel with bands on the road, and we use all kinds of different tools out there. But having that freedom of being able to travel and like have a Zoom call from a tour bus or from a hotel room over in Europe or something, like just having that flexibility and freedom. I mean, I couldn't have done that when I was at Amazon and with my previous, work. I was actually kind of surprised at the similarities between like the technical work and the music industry work for a number of reasons. As music is getting more advanced, there is more technical tools out there that we use on the road. Like back in the day, all of the sort of logistical work was done on paper, right? But now we have software that does it for us. We have like Master Tour is a very popular touring application where we create the entire schedule of like the run of show, logistics, busing, routing, flights, things like that. And having that technical background and using tools like that previously just made it so much easier for me to jump on board, in the music space. So there's definitely like that overlap that I wasn't personally expecting, but I'm happy there is. I was on the road last week on the bus, and one of our founders was having a client call. I wasn't on the call, but I was aware they were having it, and they were having some sort of issue with one of the video conference tools built into the platform. And he was like, while he was on that call, he was able to text me and be like, hey, we need to fix this. And I'm on a tour bus in the middle of nowhere. I had to take out my phone, open up a hotspot, get my computer connected to it just so I could have signal. We were in like Montana or something like that. And I was able to log in and get it fixed. That's the moral of the story, is that we fixed it thanks to technology. I mean, I would not be able to do the things that I can do now without all the technology that I've been taught and have learned, and all the tools that we have available to us, for sure. That's the only reason I can do what I do. One of the main takeaways I got from being in tech and with Valkyr, and even my previous years at Amazon and Apple, is understanding how signal flow works and understanding how technical tools work together. Especially looking back on like my cloud experience, all those infrastructures for corporations are built like building blocks of different tools. It's the same thing when you're looking at a stage production, right? All the different components of a stage come together in a certain sequence that if you understand how they work, how the signal flows, power needs, things like that, it's the same kind of mentality. And I think that having that background in tech has made it a lot easier for me to jump into music, because I have that sort of understanding of how the different pieces work together, if that makes sense. In the future, I see myself continuing to work abroad. I mean, I love traveling, and I love that my work in tech and music have been able to give me that. So I think I will continue doing it, hopefully from a nice sunny beach somewhere in the Caribbean. I was actually just in the Caribbean on tour, and that was great, and I was able to work. I mean, the service was kind of bad, but I was still able to do some work remotely. But I see myself continuing to learn. I think the AI space is sort of like my next avenue I want to dig into to learn more. I actually just signed up for like a deep machine learning program on Google. So I'm kind of taking that on the side while I'm on the road. So like at night, I'll, tune in for a lesson or two. So yeah, something in that space, continuing to travel and continuing to do cool tech stuff.